but I tell my team this, 5 words or less. I think some teams have different, but 5 words or less is the framework we always stick by because anything more, you're probably going to, it's just a pretty strong chance you're not even going to get an open on that email. So subject line, but also keeping it informal. So short, informal. And I've even been a huge fan right now of 1 word, 1 to 2 words, like subject line, as vague as possible. Sometimes even helps get opens. So that's kind of the framework we go by. 5 words or less, informal, and if you can, vague.
Yep. Lauren?
One thing that I really like to do in subject lines, and I did A/B tests on this, is actually, if possible, call out a direct report of the manager or executive you're reaching out to that is tied to the problem that you're trying to solve or is likely a direct user. I actually have in my email, I did that, so I have a tactical example.
Yeah. That's a pretty cool example. If you sell software, which most of the people on this webinar, I'm assume selling software, typically the people that you sell to are not the people that use the software. So in
Yes.
Jack's case, that's reaching out to a sales leader and mentioning one of the SDRs or account executives if you're talking about self-sourcing.
Mhm.
Um, HR, I think, is another really kind of popular example to use as well. But that's like immediate. If I see an employee or a direct report of mine's name in a subject line, you're definitely going to open up that email. Um,
100%.
Interesting stuff from Lavender too, and some people were asking. Lavender's data is it's based on 2023 and 2024 is the data that I'm referencing. Um, Questions reduce open rates. Putting numbers can reduce open rates. Punctuation, so question marks, exclamation marks can reduce open rates. And we already talked about first names. I'm surprised it's only 12%. I think it also depends, as with everything else we're sharing, the caveat is who are you reaching out to and are they in tech? Because if they're in tech, they probably get used to a lot of these tactics being done on them. Whereas if you're reaching out to people in like, you know, transportation, operations, and manufacturing plants, like these people aren't like in the tech world. They might not be as used to being on the receiving end of some of these techniques, right? Um,
Yes.
but I like some of these frameworks, pointing out specific problems. So instead of talking about your AI powered enterprise CX tool, point out the Canada Goose chatbot page that's not working, right? One of the highest performing subject lines of a client I worked with, they sold an automated welding solution to manufacturers. They didn't put automated welding as the subject line. It was 1 word, it was welders, and it was 90+% open rate because that's the number one thing they're thinking about is Dakota's on the call. What's up, Dakota? Um, that was my old client, Dakota. So that's the number one thing that was on their mind, right? Putting this is a Jen Allen play. She likes to use this one a lot, right? Company initiatives from the CEO, IPOs. This is people on their team. This is the play that you just mentioned, Florin,
Yeah.
right? The rule of three, stacking some of these together, right? So I think subject lines people tend to overthink, in my experience, like how to be really tricky and creative. But what I'm getting from you two, correct me if I'm wrong, is let's just be really short and simple.